You know, one connection, one introduction, one person in your network can basically spiral into a complete business empire. It's actually something that happened to me. But before I get into that story, I think one of the big things I want, for the people who don't want to watch all of this is I think you need to realize that when you meet someone or you're attending a business event or you're there to mastermind, whatever you're trying to do, or even if you're messaging people online, stop looking to close the deal in the first interaction. One of the biggest things that I learned very, very quickly was me being around, attending events, going to masterminds, being active on social, was that people came to me to do business because they saw me around more. There was just this trust that became because I was always around. Like, I think there's a big saying that goes around is like, it takes years to build your reputation into a good one, but it can take seconds to ruin it. And that's true. And I think what happens is that effect basically lets you develop out on that. So, kind of a story I want to talk to you about is one of a relationship that basically started in 2014. I was working for a guy called Alex Jeffries, and he hired a copywriter to write some emails for Connor Lynch. I was working for Alex at the time, and I got put into managing the copywriter. We built a great relationship. He worked with us for a while, wrote a lot of copy for us, and then went on. And then we stayed in touch over Skype. And then in 2018, 4 years later, he reached out to me and said, "Hey, we're starting a financial publishing company. I know you know traffic and you know how to build funnels out technical wise. Can you help me out?" And he paid me. And I said, "Yeah, of course." He said, "I don't have much money because we're just starting out." And I said, "Don't worry, just pay cost. I'll have one of my junior guys do it." And they ended up paying us $500. And that actually transpired into me building or scaling my agency very, very quickly. And that was one relationship. And that relationship introduced me to a whole new business sector, which was financial publishing. Then I ended up working for the biggest company in financial publishing, Aurora. I worked for their different divisions, running their media. Then from there, I was introduced to the big table, which is the venture capitalists and the public trading companies. And I was hired to run traffic to their company sites, right? To their investors. And that was crazy. That was like 5 years. We built the business into over $12 million in revenue every year, with a very, very high, over 50% profit margin, because it was a service-based business. And that was all one relationship that I developed like 4 years prior to the initial introduction. And a lot of the times, that I'm being able to bind the JV with Laura Katzelman and Chad, a lot of the business that is coming our way is from people who knew me before that, right? But now I have the opportunity to serve those people, or they have an opportunity to work with me in that capacity. But before, we just knew each other because we attended the same events, we hung around the same people, and we just got on together. We hadn't actually done any business before. Money hadn't transferred. Now it does. Now it's flowing. So I think one thing is, when you go into relationships, you really need to focus on, okay, let me just build what a good relationship looks like, just in case something comes down the line. Now, there is opportunities at a lot of events to close deals. Like, there are people there who want to, close deals or buy your products or whatever that is, or your services. But that normally comes from an introduction. Now, if I make a deal on the first interaction, the chances are that it's because I've been introduced to them, right, by someone at that event. And that came from a prior relationship. Now, a lot of you are sat out there probably like here trying to figure out, like, what are you meant to do? Look, you still have to build things, right? You still have to put yourself in those positions. You still have to have something to sell, but you need to remember that the network and the relationships you build is what's going to fuel that for years to come. Think the people that you shake hands with today will probably be your first time customers in 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years time, but you've built that relationship with them. So with that said, don't forget, one connection can change it all. Be out there, be a good person, interact with people, but you don't have to be friends with assholes. That's one thing. There's many people I've met with big names in this space that I will not work with just because they were just an asshole on a network, on a relationship level. Like, if I can't deal with them at a dinner table, if I don't feel like I want to pay for their dinner, chances are I don't want to work with them or let them be a customer of mine, or me be a customer of theirs. So I think that's very important to understand, that you have to get out there, you have to build relationships, even if you're doing it online, over WhatsApp, whatever you do, whatever introductions you're being done. I think that's very, very, very important. So just remember that one introduction can change everything. and can truly skyrocket you. And it could be an introduction that happened 4 years prior. So make sure that you just do good business, you keep saying hello, you keep the relationships healthy, and everything else will come. If you have any questions or you want to know more, drop comments. I'll make another video. I'll speak to you soon.